All right, I have T-Bone, Terrance Jean-Jacques on the show now, who's going to be fighting next on May the 14th at RUF 47 RUF Nation when he meets Yimaz Wildman. Terrance, how you doing, man?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. It's nice to talk to you again, and things are going well for you. 2-fight win streak recently at RUF 46. You got a round 2 win over Irvin's Ayala. Break that one down for me. How happy are you with that win?
I was pretty excited, especially since I didn't expect it to go like the way it did. I've actually wanted to fight like that for a long time because usually I rely on my wrestling, and I've been able to. And he had a little wrestling background, so and I know through camp he was training like a lot of his. I knew it was gonna probably end up on the feet and be decided on the feet. So I'm glad that I was able to pull that out the way I did and advance to the finals.
Yeah, and so tell me a little bit about this RUF Nation promotion. This tournament, I guess the winner here for this heavyweight tournament wins a substantial amount of money. How did you get into all of this?
Yeah, so I think it was back. I fought for them, and December was the first one. So I think it was back in like August, September-ish, where they had Mike Quintero, who's the original guy I fought, where he kept having a bunch of fallouts, and the promoter actually reached out to me about, or a few people actually reached out to me about Quintero not being able to get fights over the months, and then they came to me with the tournament opportunity, and then I figured, like, how could I say no? So we ended up here.
Yeah, so we were talking a little bit before we went live here, and Nick Gully was filling me in on, I guess, how much money you might win if you win this tournament. Can you just run me through that? Like, what are the payouts here?
Yeah, so for the contract, I think it's about a 5-fight deal, and it's valued at about $140,000 for the 5 fights within, I think it's a 16-month period or something like that. So, and these fights in the tournament too, they were pretty good purses. So I was definitely happy to come up on this opportunity.
Yeah, for sure. What is the promotion like fighting for them? How did they treat you as an athlete? Just run me through what that's been like for you.
I mean, it's almost like a lot of the local promotions. I mean, they've pretty much the same way. I mean, I can't say anything bad about them, but you know, I do love the accommodations they have, or the hotel that we stay at. They try to do a little after party for the fighters after at a local spot down the street. So it's been nice, and I've never been to Arizona, so I'm definitely a fan of Arizona and the things we've been able to do out there so far.
And these fights, they're on a reservation, right? What is the atmosphere like? What are the fans like come fight night?
It's definitely wild arena, wild crowd. It's a lot different than I'm used to fighting in, like a crowd in front of. But like, especially not being from Arizona, the love and support that they've shown me from not even knowing me was pretty surprising. So it's definitely a big part of why I love being out in Arizona.
So, you know, we haven't spoken for a long time now. Tell me, what are you up to these days? Where's your camp at? Who are your training partners and coaches?
So my coaches are Dominica and John Giordano. They're good friends of mine. I try to get around wherever I can to train. I train at Longtown Boxing, so that's where my primary training's at. But I get around. I spar with a lot of boxers. I try to get on the mat with a lot of jiu-jitsu guys. And I go to Smitty's Wrestling Bar, and that's where I've been wrestling since I was a little kid. And I get some work in with wherever I can over there. So I try to get work in wherever I can, as much as I can. I've even been down to Loison's a couple of times. I go to Sitio Tong in Somerville. So I just try to get what I can. I even travel sometimes. So I was out in Vegas for a little while training. right before the new year. I've been down to American Top Team to train for a few of my camps. So I'm just trying to get like as much work and work with the best people as much as possible.
So you're still primarily here in New England and Massachusetts?
Yeah, yes, sir. Yeah. Live right in Groveland, Massachusetts.
Okay. Do you have a job that you're doing, or are you just full-time, combat sports training?
No, I've been doing personal training for a little bit now. I just switched locations almost a year ago, but I work at Everybody Fights in Salem. That's a boxing fitness gym. And then I do like personal training on the side, but yeah, it's pretty, other than training, other people, I just train myself.
What is your walking around weight these days? Because you look swole, man. You look pretty big.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Hell yeah, I'm trying. That's the goal. So I was like sucking a crazy amount of weight to make 205. I'd walk around at like 240, 245, but I mean, it wasn't always like the best weight because I'm dropping and eating myself back up. But I decided to try out. Well, ever since this tournament came out, I decided to try to put on some weight. So I'm trying to put on like as much muscle as I can, and over the course of the tournament, and then build myself up to a true heavyweight. But right now I'm like 240.
Okay. So
I know I could push it a little more, but I'm just trying to like slowly, plus getting adapted to that much extra weight from 205 to where I want to be. It's like a process.
So heavyweight moving forward, that's where you want to stay. You're not going to end up changing your body and going back down to light heavyweight.
Nah, I guess it's to see how this goes with what I'm looking to do. But I feel like right now the best, since I've wrestled heavyweight since I was a little kid, so I'm used to being heavier, and I can get my conditioning right when I'm and my strength all where I want it to be. But when I'm cutting, I sacrifice a lot of strength, and then with that goes my cardio. So right now I feel pretty good at heavyweight.
All right. Okay. That sounds good to me. Now, obviously right now you're just focused on getting this win over Yimaz in Phoenix, Arizona on May the 14th. But, what are your goals here moving forward long-term, Terrance? Like, are you planning on, making a run, trying to get into the UFC? Like, what are your end goals here?
I mean, I feel like everybody eventually wants to see some action in the UFC. I'm just excited to take this contract, and then I guess in a year's time or a year and a half time, I'd be able to assess like going forward whether I stay a part of the one roster, depending on how those fights turn out, or making the switch. But eventually, I can't say I wouldn't like getting my shot at the UFC for sure.
How far away do you think you are? I mean, if again you get this win here, how many more do you need to string together before you might get that opportunity?
I honestly feel like it's right around the corner. So I'd expect to get in the next one or two. I mean, I'd have a 5-fight contract with them. Say I win this one, so I mean, that's a given after 5. If I win 5, my record would be at what, 12-3. So I'd say that's more than a good enough record to say I win those. That's more than a good enough record to get my shot. But I'm sitting at 7-3 right now. I think with a couple more, I don't see why not. I don't deserve the shot.
For sure. Well, again, your next fight, RUF 47, May 14th in Phoenix, Arizona. When do you leave for Arizona, and who's going to be traveling with you? Who's going to be in your corner come fight night?
So I leave. The fight's May 14th. They fly me out like 2 days before, so the day before weigh-ins. So May 12th. I have about 4 weeks from this weekend. I'm flying out with my corners who have been there with me for the whole tournament, John and Dominica. My son's also coming out. And then I have like some friends and family that are gonna fly out, make the trip too. My sponsors, some of my sponsors are gonna make it out. So I have a big crowd for this one. I'm pretty excited.
All right, let's talk about your opponent, Yimaz Wildman. He's 4-1. He's coming off a round 1 RNC win at RUF 46. Stylistically, what kind of a fight are you expecting? How do you see yourself getting your hand raised?
Oh, he's more of a. I see him coming with what his style is. So he's more of a brawler. He's classified as a wrestler. So I know I have one up, or I have a lot up on him in the wrestling department. He's not. He's nowhere near the striker that Irvin's was. So I see it coming down to just me being more conditioned, me having more cardio. I know it's probably going to be a lot of grappling. I don't see there being a lot of striking. So I see a finish somewhere on the ground, whether it be a submission or ground and pound. But I couldn't see it going any other way. Like, I'd be shocked if it went any other way.
Okay, that sounds good to me, man. I'm excited to see this. Is there any way to watch it online or an app? Like, if you can't be there in person, how can you watch it at home?
Yeah, so they have a pay-per-view link that I'll be putting up on my social media. But if you go on RUF MMA, it should have it blasted on the front page, the pay-per-view link. And then there's also a replay if you don't catch it the night of. They do have a replay link. So, yeah, man.
All right. Again, May the 14th, it all goes down for the heavyweight tournament championship. Terrance Jean-Jacques, Yimaz Wildman, RUF 47. Great talking to you, man. Again, it's been way too long. We need to do this more often. Before I do let you go,
Sure.
I want to give you the floor, my man. Tell people where to follow you on social media. And if you have anyone to thank, any sponsors, the floor is yours.
All right, yes, sir. So I got to try not to forget any of my sponsors. So first, I'll thank Devotion Nutrition, for all my supplements and nutritional needs. Hadasana, it's a yoga studio in Hampstead, New Hampshire, I believe. I don't want to mess that up, but I love them. I'm there all the time when I'm not in the gym. Sonny's Boxing, which is another gym that I go to get a lot of my work in and spar with a few of their guys. And I'm gonna mess up and forget people. Contenders, actually, I just started working with Contenders, which I'm pumped about. So shout out to Contenders. Yeah, I'm gonna thank my sponsors again, just in case, because I know I always forget somebody. And you can follow me. My Instagram is @MachineGunTbone, and then Terrance Jean-Jacques, T-Bone Jean-Jacques on Facebook. That's just about all I use, pretty much.